swim in the East River. What do you guys think about that? Okay, we'll see if I can convince you. I'm from Plus Pool, and we had this observation that New York City is surrounded by water, right? There's 520 miles of waterfront here. There's only 14 miles of beaches, and they're on the outer edges. But in and around in the waters that connect the 5 boroughs, you can't access them for swimming. The water quality does not regularly meet the standards for the Department of Environmental Conservation to say that it is safe for bathing. And so our hypothesis was, instead of trying to clean the entire river, what if you started by cleaning a small piece of it? And what if you could change the relationship that New Yorkers have with their rivers just by giving them a chance to swim in it? And so this was our idea. It is a plus-shaped, water filtering floating swimming pool. It'll filter the river water through the walls of the pool and discharge clean water back into the source, consistently turning over the water regularly so that you don't need chlorine or any kind of chemicals, and you can clean the river while you swim in it. The idea was really like dropping a giant strainer into the river and carving out a small piece that would regularly provide access. We designed it as 4 pools in one: a kids pool, a sports pool, a lounge pool, and a lap pool put together like the shape of a plus, and that it could be an Olympic-length lap lane in the middle and be a space that everyone could enjoy different kinds of uses at the same time simultaneously. And so the science, how does this work, right? This was an idea, a hypothesis. How can we test it, right? Is it possible to filter East River water to the standards we need for swimming without any sort of chemical disinfectant? Can advanced engineering, process controls, water quality monitoring, can all of these things provide safe access to the rivers? So how would this work? So we started to test. Our concept was really very simple, a 3-layered process. If you've ever experimented with water filtration and you start with something big and then it filters a little bit and it makes the water a little bit more cleaner, and then you take it to another kind of filter and it filters a little bit more, that was really the concept. And so we tested this in the river. This is our first layer of filtration. It is a pre-filter. So once we extract the river water into the pool through an area that keeps and protects wildlife from getting in, and it pumps it into, this is a 200 micron pre-filter. And so it gets rid of all the big stuff. To prepare it to enter the second layer of filtration, which is called ultrafiltration. This white tube here is filled with a lot of membranes, and it does a lot of the work. It's called an ultrafiltration membrane. And so we have a series of these that it goes through, and that gets a lot of the bacteria and the viruses that would make it unsafe for swimming. And then a final step is that we zap it with ultraviolet light. So this is a UV filtration system. So just like the sun can warm and kill off some bacteria, this will achieve what's called a 4-log reduction in viruses, which means it's 99.99% clear of the things that would prevent us from swimming. And so we tested this in the river and brought it into a mock-up pool, and we're able to prove that we were able to get the water quality to the standard that we wanted regularly. And so what do? We need a proof of concept. So the next step we're taking is we're building a pool that will demonstrate how this works and allow people to access on a much smaller scale before we start to build the big plus pool. So this is the pool that we're under construction right now today. This is being craned into the river. This is the floating part, and right now we're building the filters and the pool and the pipes and all the stuff that goes into it. And this will be our proof of concept. We will float it into the East River this summer and near Pier 35 north of the Manhattan Bridge and do a full-scale operational run for the health agencies to demonstrate how this thing works before we hope to open up for everyone to swim next summer. So this is our first pool, Pool 1. Again, a proof of concept and a stepping stone until we can build the full plus pool. So why is this important? Like, how does this water filtering floating swimming pool support sustainability and a better environment, right? Why is river swimming important? This is a picture of kids jumping in the rivers in Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a city in Europe that worked really hard to do a massive cleanup of their rivers and make sure that their combined sewage overflows and their stormwater runoff and all of these things that contribute to impaired waterways were cleaned up so that people could lively jump in them and engage with the rivers. And we believe that if people are connected to the rivers and they engage with their rivers and they can spend time in the rivers, they're more likely to protect it and keep it clean. New York City is also very hot in the summer, right? So we spend and it's only increasing in heat because of climate change and other issues that I know you guys study. So we currently use these cooling centers, and we create different spaces where people can go and cool off in the summer. Why not be able to open up the waterways to be able to allow people relief from extreme heat in the summer months? And also, we think it supports water stewardship. Our project is being developed by our nonprofit organization called Friends of Plus Pool. We do a lot of programming to raise awareness of water quality issues, promote water stewardship, go into schools like yours and talk about the process and filtration and all kinds of different things that we do with the water quality. And so we host these river cleanups so that people can really start to understand how they can take action to protect their waterways and be better water stewards. And finally, we're contributing to a huge amount of citywide data. We've been collecting water quality data for a decade to inform the design and the construction of this pool. And all of that data is something that's contributing to a larger conversation and education around the health of our waterways so that we can continue to improve them. And so we hope that you guys will be swimming with us in the next year or so. What do you think? Yeah.